Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to do this sort of everyday makeup look that I've been doing over the last sort of 6 months, the time that I haven't been on YouTube. So it's going to be super detailed, even though it's like a really sort of simple makeup look, but it is super detailed, like from how to apply lashes to why I've used this foundation or concealer. Like there's a lot of talking and a lot of description, so just pre-warning you, if it is too long for you, there are other videos of like quick everyday makeup looks if that's something that you were thinking of or looking at. Well, I keep trying different foundations and I keep coming back to La Mer. It's still one of my ultimate favorite foundations. If I'm honest, the main reason why I like this is because this is the perfect neutral tone for me, when most foundations that I find for like South Asian skin tones, they typically tend to be really yellow and I don't really like to look very yellow. So I think it's more the actual color tone than anything else. So yeah. I use about 2 pumps and then again I alternate between brushes depending on, you know, how I feel. Sometimes it's this brush, sometimes it's an oval brush, sometimes it's my sponge. Like it really depends. Like, don't you think this still looks like my skin? Like I don't feel like it's changed my complexion in any way. It's just kind of covered up a little bit, but not too much. Like it's a buildable coverage, but like not heavy, because I don't want to look fully caked on, because this is obviously more of a daytime. But if I'm honest, I do the same for like shoots as well. Like I like my skin to look like skin. That's just usually what I do. And again, depending on if I've slept enough or not, like I am a little bit tired. I've got a few bags, so I'm just going to use a color corrector. And this is the MAC Prep and Prime. I mean, it says highlighter, but I use the Peach Lustre. So it's the darkest color that you have. So it's got the Peach Lustre, peach. And I'm just going to use this a little bit where I am a little bit pigmented at the moment, which is just under my eyes. If you're pigmented obviously everywhere else, and I mean like around your mouth area or forehead or whatever, please do color corrector first and then do your foundation. Or some of you like to do eye makeup first and then do the base. It's absolutely fine. So I'm just going to use my fingers, covered all of this quite well, I think. Just going to be extra and just use it around the corner of my mouth as well. And then whatever's left on the brush, just going to cover that. Okay, now concealer. I'm going to use the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. One of the reasons I'm using this one, I like quite a few different concealers, but the reason I'm using the Creamy Radiant Creamy Concealer is because the texture of it is very similar to my La Mer, so I feel like it just sort of makes sense. Also, when you're applying your concealer, just smile and see where your wrinkles are the most. And for me, it's like a little bit more on the crow's feet, they call this. So I'm not going to pile on any concealer on that side, more on the inside for me. And then I'm just going to sort of spread it out so there's not too much product buildup. And I'm using a beauty blender. And I'm just basically spreading the product out. And aim here is to cover the entire color corrector. If you feel like the orange is still seen, then you know that you've got to just add a little bit more, you know, concealer. So the color that I used was Biscuit, and I think Biscuit is pretty much my skin tone, exactly my skin tone. Because now looking at my face, there isn't a huge difference between my concealer and my foundation. Like I feel like I look very the same, like the same tone everywhere, which I think most people like anyway. But then I'm that person that likes the concealer or the under eyes to look quite bright, so I'm going to add another color now, and this is Ginger. So this is a little bit more brighter, and I'm just going to, not too much, just sort of like use this now for highlighting. I'm going to do the bridge of my nose, and I'm also going to do these corners as well, because I'm aging, so the lines are sitting there, so I'm just trying to kind of brighten that up and you know, push any shadows back, if that makes sense. That's the point of highlighting, obviously. So I'm just focusing on the inner corner here. I'm not bringing this out because I've got another highlighter that I'm going to use for the sides of my face. Yep, so this has brightened up my under eye area a little bit, and since there is a bit of product buildup at the moment, because obviously I've got color corrector and then I've got 2 different colors of concealer, sorry, so I kind of want to set that immediately before it just starts sort of like sitting in my wrinkles. So I'm just going to spread it out a little bit more, or blend it out a little bit more, and then I'm going to set it with a pressed setting powder. You could use a loose powder at this point as well. I've had this product for a while, this pressed translucent powder, but the color is crystal. So I've got this crystal, and I've got one of these puff things, and I didn't like it initially. I was just like, okay, but now I'm like in love with this. I'm just gonna get a bit of product on there and just press it just around my eye area. I'm not taking this to the rest of the face, but just around the eye area. I don't know if you can see in the screen, it just looks super smooth and set, right? So even if you don't have a pressed translucent powder and you have a loose translucent powder, like the Laura Mercier or whatever, just use the same technique. Maybe use the same puff, or use a sponge and just dip it in and just press it. So it's almost like you're baking, but you're not baking with a really heavy coverage powder. You're just baking basically with a translucent powder. So it just gives it like just a slightly smoother finish. If you're somebody who sweats a lot and things like that, then you might want to do the exact same technique that I used by like sort of pressing the product in your T-zone as well. Right, so now that I've done this looks kind of nice and neat. I could have probably covered up this pimple a little bit more. Actually, why don't I still do that? So for this I need the Biscuit, the one that's like my skin tone, remember? So I'm just going to add this around there and use my beauty blender, and then just, yeah, that's already looking better, doesn't it? And what I'm going to do is I am going to set that as well so that it doesn't move. Okay, cool. Right, contouring blusher. I'm obsessed with this product from Nars. This is not a sponsored video, by the way. I'm just realizing I've got too much Nars here. If you have been following me for a long time, you would know that I do love Nars. Okay, so you could use your fingers, you could use a cotton bud. I'm going to use this little brush. The color that I've got in this bronzing cream is Casino, which is the darker one. So they only have 2 colors. They've got Laguna and they have Casino. For me, I like the Casino for my skin tone. So even if you're a few shades darker than me, that would still work. If you're fairer than me, then I would say go for the Laguna. Right, so I'm going to contour, and I want my round face to look narrower, so I'm going a little bit high with my contour and not too low. I love a sharp jawline. I don't really need to do my forehead. I don't think I have a big forehead, but I'm just gonna very, very lightly, very softly just contour the nose a little bit as well. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to take the other side of this. So this brush actually came free with a MAC Studio Fix foundation or powder patches. So I don't know if you can buy them, but even if you don't, trust me, you can just get like a nice big brush like this and use the back of your, the rounded side of your beauty blender or sponge as well to do it. I'm just gonna use the side of this. So if you've noticed, so far, I haven't really used a brush. I mean, what I just did, I could have done with a cotton bud as well. And I like not having to have too many tools, especially if it's meant to be sort of like a day makeup and you want it to be quick. Okay, I feel like that's already made my face look a little bit narrower. Don't worry about, yeah. I like the natural finish of it. Like, it doesn't look orange, which is what I absolutely hate when it looks orange. It just looks more dark brown, and it looks like it could have been part of my skin, if that makes sense. When you're doing the jawline, unless you have a big double chin, then you've got to cover the entire double chin. But if you don't, then don't go too high with the contouring around the jawline. Sort of like keep it underneath, so you have this bit, you know, sticking out. The whole point is you don't want to make your face look squashed and small, right? So I've ended up putting a bit too much color over there. So I'm just going to take my foundation brush and just sort of fix it. Now I'm going to use a beauty blender actually. I could have used a brush for this as well and just blend the nose out, and then use the other side that still had a little bit of concealer to sort of clean this up again. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. It looks pretty natural. I think that's kind of what I was going for. Right, I'm trying out these new liquid blush serums from Natasha Denona. I do really like it. It's pretty similar to the Nars liquid blush as well, but the reason I like this one in particular, they don't have colors, by the way. Like it's just like a set. There's only 3 colors that she has. So she has this, she has like a dark browny pink, it's like a mauve, and then like a brown, and I really like this color because I like my peach tones. So I'm just going to go straight with this, straight onto my face with this. And then I'm going to use the rounded side of the beauty blender and just sort of like blend it in. Yeah, like this side looks a little bit stronger. I'm just gonna add a little bit more. So this is for the people who do not like a lot of blush, who like it to look almost like it's, again, part of your skin. And that's why I like this one, because it's like a lot. Even if you put a lot, it just doesn't end up looking too much, if that makes sense. Ta-da! Base done. I'm gonna go straight onto your eyebrows. I'm going to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. Again, I sort of alternate. You've seen me use gels, you've seen me use powders. It really depends what my brow is looking like. I have days where a lot of my brow hair falls out, so then I need to use the gel because I need more coverage. And then the days where I don't really need too much coverage, I use a pencil. But the days where my brows look amazing, I use the powder. But I think it's personal preference anyway. Some of you, even if you have thick brows, you like them to look even stronger or thicker, or some of you don't really like your brows to stand out at all. You know, so for those people I would say probably powder is the best option. Powder basically is the most natural you can create. But saying that, just because you have, if you're somebody who doesn't really have much brow hair, but then you want a natural look, the powder's not going to do you any favors. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you would want to then use a pencil. So I would say out of all 3 products, the pencil is your safe bet. And then once you're like a bit more comfortable doing your brows, you can then maybe think about if you want to have powder or if you want to start using gel. If you love doing your eyebrows, I think it's always a good investment to just have all 3 products. Like, I've got gel, powder, and pencil. And I just alternate depending. And these products last. It's not like it's a waste of money. Just make sure that it's a dark brown if you're South Asian. Like, you know, don't pick, sort of go like can't even talk. You want it to basically match your hair. Like, you do, you know, and please don't tell me you've got black hair. It's very, very, very rare that you have pitch black hair. So you're not gonna want to get a pencil that's pitch black. That's kajal, okay? That's for under eyes or eyes and stuff. You do not want that color on your brows. It will look very, very, very artificial. So yeah, so I've just filled it in. But there's a product that I love, and I'm really sad. I'm still gonna tell you guys about it because it's not available everywhere, and I've noticed that it's definitely not available in the UK. I've struggled to get any one size products. Love this brand. I owe a few things from one size, like their liner is like the best. But yeah, like their brand is great. And this one is called the Clear Nourishing Brow Gel. I am going to add all the products in the description box, so don't worry. And with this, it's almost like a proper good brow set, okay? Like this stuff does not move, like, and then you don't have to, like, you know, you don't have to struggle removing it in the evening, so it does come off quite easily. But I don't know if you can see, but the hair, like, you know, the brush strokes, it's amazing. Like, I love this. I think for people who have very unruly brows, this is definitely a great investment. Brow sets in general are great, but it's just, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've used brow sets for years. I love them. But the thing is, most of the time, they just don't last. Like, I feel like after 2-3 hours, like my eyebrows are back to, you know, like hanging everywhere and curling everywhere and stuff. So that's why I really love this. And because it's a serum, it's a clear nourishing brow gel, so it's supposed to be like a serum, very nourishing, very good for your brows. So I think this is a genius product, if you can get hold of it, that is. But yeah, that's my eyebrows done. Going to go straight onto eye makeup. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use a base or anything. I'm just going to, whatever was left on my beauty blender, I'm just going to very mildly cover and just sort of clean up the eyelid area. If you're somebody who's quite pigmented, you might want to do the color corrector and concealer on top as well as bottom, if that makes sense. So color corrector, then, you know, your concealer, foundation, whatever. You could do that and then do your liner and whatever. I just cleaned this up just so that it looks tidy. I'm not going to even bother with the liner today. I'm just going to go straight onto lashes and add a little bit of lippy, and that's going to be my daytime makeup look. Right, so with lashes, so for most people, lashes is a problem. I do have a separate video where it explains in detail how to do lashes, but since a lot of you still ask me after every video, or you know, you guys leave me feedback saying, oh, but like, you know, how did you put them on? So I just thought this video is a very detailed video, obviously, as you can probably tell, where I'm just like literally telling you everything step by step. So I'm going to do the same thing. So I've got these like really inexpensive, cheap lashes, but I love them because I like anything that's like sort of three-dimensional. So got these here. Make sure that when you do take it out of the packaging, you just measure it initially. So basically what I mean by that is just like sort of hold it over your lashes, and you always want your lashes to sort of give you that upwards look. If your lashes look, once you've stuck them on, start looking a little bit like this, it's going to give you a very droopy sort of look. Same thing goes with semi-permanent lashes. Don't always do semi-permanent lashes all the way to the end, because it's gonna be so heavy, it's gonna give you that droopy look. Tell them to stop sort of like, you know, a little bit over there, so that it just gives you a lifted look. So you want your lashes and your eyes to look lifted, so that it makes you look awake, your eyes look bigger. So then once you feel like it is a bit too long, you always just cut off the end bit. So never the inside bit, but the end bit, okay? So once you've cut it, and trust me, even for my eye shape, not that I have such big eyes, but I'm just saying for my eye shape, I still have to cut every pair of lashes that I buy. Doesn't matter what brand, I always have to end up cutting them. So I always cut off like maybe 1 millimeter. So it really depends. For some of you it might be 2 millimeters, but never more than that, okay? So don't cut too much, because then it's a waste. But yeah, so then I just take them out of the packaging, put them in front of me. Do one lash at a time, people. So before you do anything, take a lash curler and curl your lashes. What I usually do is open it up wide, move it around, and sometimes even stretch my lid, so I really get all the hair trapped in there. I go quite close, okay, so really back, and then just like hold it a little bit and just try and close it and make sure your skin is not trapped, and then press really hard and then lift it upwards. And then you hold it for about 10-15 seconds. And then you let go, and ta-da, look, that's already lifted. You can go and do it 2-3 times if you want to as well. I wouldn't necessarily do it too curly because you still want to stick your lashes. You don't want your lashes to be in the way of the false lashes. Man, I can talk for the world, can't I? I feel like for 20 minutes straight, I've just spoken non-stop. And I'm not tired. Right. So now that you've curled it, have your lash glue ready. Please, 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 if you want to get a good lash glue, get the duo glue. Don't get the stick ones. You know they have the duo glue that's like a stick and you just like unscrew it and then just like, no, hardly any glue comes out of it. You're just gonna sit there forever trying to like line your lash line. And so with the duo glue, it's easy because you just get a little bit on the back of your hand and then you get a cotton bud. And you know, start with the lash that you want to start with. So I'm going to start with my right lash. Grab the lashes by the hair, okay? And then take the glue and then just sort of line the lash line, okay? And I want you to put a generous amount of glue, okay? So it's meant to look disgustingly tacky like this. And the reason I say that is, trust me, you do not want your lashes to fall off while you're at a party or something. So you're doing just the one lash, okay? So not both of them, one at a time. So while that's drying, so I've just put it back on the table, while that's drying for 20 to 25 seconds, or 30 seconds, or whatever, depends. I've got the aircon on, so this will probably dry much quicker. Take a mascara. My current favorite is the Benefit Roller Lash. I love it because I don't like mascara that's tacky. Like I like mascara that's like, just gives me, I like the way the wand is. And when I put this on, it almost looks like as if I don't have mascara. It's just that my lashes are naturally like this. Don't you think? Like look, in comparison, they look really similar, just that tiny little bit longer. So again, I think it's beautiful. Okay, and then I'm also going to do the lower lash line because it has two parts of the comb. So it's got this rounded side and then just like a really mini one. So it's perfect for top and bottom. Okay, cool. So just one eye, okay? So the eye that you're going to stick, if that makes sense. Now you're gonna check if your glue is ready. So basically it's meant to feel a little bit tacky and sticky. If it is, they're ready. If it's not, you just do this, or you know, maybe not blow into it. It's probably a bit disgusting. Can you imagine if you had like fish curry or something and you're like, I mean, who does that? Who would, right? But I'm just saying it's probably better to do this. But mine are actually ready. So you're gonna grab the lashes by the end, finger, thumb, like this. Keep your eye open and just sort of like flick backwards. Go behind your lashes and just hook it in. Start at the end and secure that into place first. And you can use both your hands if you need to, and then slowly by slowly move your way inwards, okay? So don't worry about the inside too much. Okay, so that the thing is it's stuck, but can you see it's like too curled. So I'm going to sort of push the lashes down a little bit so it looks a little bit more natural. Because at this point, guys, the lashes are super flexible because the glue is not fully dry. So you can really like pull it on this side if you feel like this bit is too short here, or if you feel like, oh, the inside is a bit uncomfortable, again, you can pull it here. You can pull it on either side because, like I said, it's flexible. So what you can do also is you can use your fingers to press down, but if you have long nails, maybe it might be useful to take a cotton bud and then just sort of press it in and just like double confirm. Right, I'm going to go on to the other side of my lashes. Okay, lashes are stuck. I've done mascara at the bottom as well. Now I'm going to do a little bit of highlighting before we're going to do lips. And again, I'm trying out this Natasha Denona Face Glow Cream Shimmer because I've kind of left my skin to look a little bit glowy, right? Like I didn't do too much powder, whereas you could have used powder as well. So I'm just adding a little bit of highlighter above my blush a little bit. Can you see? It's just nothing too strong. And I love the texture of it, and I like that it's not too glittery and it's just nice. And I'm just going to add a little bit, sort of the bridge, tip of the nose, and a little bit above the lips. Okay, last but not least, if you have been following me on social media, you know that I'm like obsessed with these velvet matte lip pencils from Nars. Like, I've got them in so many colors, and my current favorite is Take Me Home because it's again a peachy sort of color. So I'm going to just cover my entire lip. And then I'm going to take a lip liner that's sort of a shade darker, okay, minimum, I think, rather than the same exact color. And this is from MAC, and it's called Morning Coffee. Can you see? It's like a little bit browny. And I'm just going over my lip line a little bit, just to give myself fuller lips. That's it, guys. It still looks glam, but I didn't use too many things, and it just looks nice and clean and fresh. So this is sort of like my everyday makeup at the moment. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was a lot of talking, I know, but I hope it was, you know, very insightful and made you understand a few techniques or steps that you might have been struggling with in the past. If you do have any sort of feedback, or you would like to see something in particular for my next video, then do leave feedback. Please subscribe, you know, share this video to as many people as you would like, you know, spread the love. And yeah, until next time, bye.